am trying to do some flats on the sort of sludgy overlay on this Godzilla picture I'm working on, while my assistant is doing some color shape painting over here with her koala box project. Isn't that right, assistant?
Koala box?
Well, the Kellen crates, it says koala crate. Did you not know that?
No.
It's Kellen the koala, but it's a koala crate. When you were younger, these are actually older. We had these from a while ago, but we just never did these ones. But when you were younger, we had some that were like, it was like a bear box or something. It was a different animal, kind of like Cub Scouts, how they go up. Not that you know what Cub Scouts are, but other people do. But yeah, I'm trying to literally just flap while I'm standing on here for a few minutes in between other things to try to move things along. What a great angle I just realized I was giving everyone. You gonna sniff the tree? All right. This is Honey. This is my mother's dog. You can tell because I don't have a dog. Mm-hmm. Come on. It's like the only dog in the world that I could run faster than. I'm walking. And she's like, this is too much. Look how she pees. It's so weird. That's coffee brewing. It's 8:17 a.m. Thursday, December 21st. It's not a jolly time. Well, it's a jolly time of year. It's not a jolly time today because my kid, despite being 4 years and 3 months old and generally sleeping through the night after we wrestle her to sleep, just woke up at 3 o'clock last night and did not go back to sleep. And therefore, I did not go back to sleep. I fell asleep for, I want to say 45 minutes between 6:30 and 7:30 while she was awake and playing. And now my day has begun. And, this is this is the millionth time where I'm like, well, if I feel healthy and I have time tomorrow, I'm going to really get some work done. Her energy levels are unaffected. Anyway, I see.
Can I be in the video?
You're in the video right now, kid. You know how you could tell?
How?
Because you're going pew, 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 and shooting energy everywhere.
I'm not doing energy.
Oh, what was that noise? Do it again. Oh, are those webs because you're ghost spider?
Yeah.
I'm foolish. I should have known. So it's the 21st of December. I just came from the dentist. I have had no sleep. Well, since 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's now 3:30, 4 o'clock in the evening. I maybe have gotten like an hour broken sleep here and there, but generally I've been up for whatever, 36 hours. I am getting in my car. I'm having trouble collecting my thoughts. I had a latte at lunch, and but that was like 3 hours ago, and it's done. It's all hitting me now. I was kind of terrible in the morning, and then I had a coffee and a latte and was doing stuff, and now I sat in the dentist chair for a while, and the latte's worn off, and I'm just like, it's gonna be safe to drive. I'll be okay. But I was supposed to be in the dentist chair for a while, getting a filling done. And it turns out I don't need the filling done, which has never happened to me, where they're like, you're fine. But they still numbed. I don't think I got the shot, but I definitely got the numbing gel, and the dentist is even like, boy, they put a lot in there. And they did. Like my tongue, everything's all numb, which is a sensation I hate. Even more than the pain, really, because this persists. When I was younger and was able to do so, I would deliberately stay up all night, or as late as I could, and then book my appointments in the morning. So I'd get there half asleep. They'd put all that numbing stuff in. I'd go home, fall asleep in the hopes that when I woke up, it'd wear off. I don't have the luxury to do that anymore. And generally, I don't like it. But the worst is like the back of my throat. Like it feels like it's here, like the swallowy part that I'm not touching. And it trips me out and it freaks me out and it triggers something, like some kind of anxiety or something. Not real bad. I mean, I'm feeling it now and I don't like it, but I'm okay. But one time it was like, they must have just poured it down my throat. And I remember and it was like, it felt like I couldn't swallow and I couldn't breathe. And like, I was okay, but I just was home like, and I think that made me more sensitive to it than I even previously was. All that being said, I'm done now, much earlier than I thought I was going to be. So there's a Target nearby that I was going to stop at anyway. And I think I'm going to get a Starbucks, which I don't need to spend the money on a Starbucks, and I don't need another coffee today, except that I do. On a normal day, I wouldn't be like, what are you doing? But like today, I'm like, whatever, today's terrible. I'm getting that coffee. I don't even remember what I need from Starbucks when I get it, and I'm going to go home and just try to make it through the rest of the day, as opposed to going to sleep now at like 4 or 5 o'clock and ruining everything. I'm hoping my child is able to go to sleep, tonight at like 8 or 9, or, between 7 and 9 is when she goes to sleep. Well, between 7 and 8 is when she goes into bed, and then usually she's asleep by 9, sometimes later, but I'm worried she's going to go to sleep at like 6 and then wake up at 4 or something terrible like that. All this is, I haven't done any drawing today. Yesterday I did a little bit of drawing, not on what I need to, not on the horror, not on my one of my 2 Godzilla commissions. But I was like, I should do a piece of art for a present for my wife. So I started drawing our child, and I was like, what am I doing? I'll never get this done in time. And, so I don't know. I'm a mess. I am a mess. I'm a mess. But they do have Masterverse He-Man figures for $6.50 I've been finding. These are $22, $23 figures. I didn't want to collect them. I didn't buy I think maybe one at full price. I was like, I want this one guy. All the rest I've gotten half price or less, and they're like irresistible. So I have like a pretty big collection, having bought most of them for, sub $10, some as low as $4. I've gotten some like with a vehicle, and it's nuts. But anyway, I'm probably gonna go buy some of them if they have them too. But so I guess I'll get a Starbucks and some He-Man figures, and try to keep myself awake until, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at least. December 22nd, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm in the bathroom. I've had a very productive, not art day, getting ready, cleaning. I cleaned the whole bathroom downstairs. I did a lot of stuff with the kid, did last minute shopping, picked up a prescription, helped Tech Advisor Arizuki work on a lot of stuff downstairs, like boxes that had been in the living room, dealt with them, lots of stuff. I felt kind of bad this morning. Physically, I feel okay now. I should be doing artwork, and I'm not. I have time. Theoretically, I have energy, although it is getting late enough that I should just go to bed. My plan is tomorrow, I don't have to do anything until about 1. And around 2, some work friends of hers are coming that we're going to hang out with, and then I'll go out to dinner with child. But I think I've had good luck leaving the house and going to draw at a coffee shop. And it's dumb and it's a waste of money. I like the coffee, don't get me wrong. But I can't really do it for lunch. I could do an early lunch. I think what I'm going to do is when I get up, try to get out of the house. I showered, shaved, and cut my hair today, so I'm all like nice and fresh. I could just leave in the morning and try to, just try to have whatever breakfast and coffee and try to draw for a few hours to try to work on the late bad idea gift art I'm doing, and then get a chunk done on the someone entered the room. Get a chunk done on the Godzilla Hedorah, which theoretically is due by the end of the year, although that's a little bit flexible. And there's my shower. Here I am in a lovely secluded wooded area. No, it's actually a parking lot outside the coffee shop, but it is weird that there's like 2 trees, and if I kind of do this, oh, hey, I'm communing with nature. But I decided to use this area. It is Saturday, the day before Christmas Eve, which is 23rd. And I did just do a little less than 2 hours work on art, specifically the ill-advised last-minute gift idea. And it's done. I had originally intended it to be either not color, like just grayscale, or maybe monochrome, like just pink or just blue, or like the 2 or something like that. But as I worked on it, I kind of got the drawing done, and I just spent a lot of time coloring it and kind of painting on it and experimenting and doing effects. And I feel like either it's done, I'm going to not look at it because I got to go anyway. Either it's done and I'll look at it later and go, oh, it's fine. Or I will remove some color or add some color, because the way I feel now is it's like kind of in between. It's not colorful enough, or it's too colorful. You know what I mean? Like I added so much that it needs more, if that makes sense. But I could be wrong, so I'll look at it again later. I did what I said I wasn't going to do in a previous video, where I went to the further away coffee shop that I like better, that has better seating, that has the pickled onions on my avocado, and it took 15-20 minutes there. Now I got to leave. I could be drawing for another 20 minutes, but I'm not, because I'm leaving. But I made this choice because when I woke up this morning, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to draw. It was kind of cold out, and so I decided that I would just, once I forced myself out of the house, I was like, well, you know what? I was going to not leave the house. I was going to maybe not do any art. So the compromise is that I'll go to the place I enjoy more, get, between a half hour and an hour less work done, but get more work done and enjoy it more. And I've been having a real hard time with art lately. And a big part of it is schedule, and part of it is health, and part of it is just up in this stupid area, because I'm coming here and I was dreading it, like taking a test at school, or like asking a girl out that you're afraid's gonna say no, or just like the pit of my stomach, oh God, I don't want to do this. And I got here and I sat down and I just started going, and it was fine. Now, granted, I didn't work on the Godzilla piece yet, which I'm a little bit intimidated to get back to. And that's a case where this is a feeling I've had many times, but not as much recently, where I'm really happy where it is right now, and I feel like I can only mess it up. There's nowhere to go but down, which I used to have all the time. I don't have it as much anymore, but the point is, I got here, I did the work, I'm feeling good, gotta head home, take care of the kid, and then the Christmas plans for the next couple days, so I probably won't have time to work on the Godzilla piece, which is fine, but I needed to have this done by Christmas, obviously, for a gift, so we'll see how that goes. And you going down the hill. Oh, listen, you can hear the music too. Yeah, that one just looks like it's just covered in snow.
Right? Yeah, they're all doing the snow flocks and stuff. This whole place made them. They every one of them.
Yeah.
Look at that. The kids are standing there.
A little bit foggy today. Just a toad. Did I say just a toad? I meant to say just a touch, just a skosh, just a toad. Just a toad foggy out. I can't believe I didn't make a frog joke. Fog, frog, toad. Clearly I just woke up. Thursday, December 28th. Test, this is a test. So I'm here at the coffee shop. I'm working on the Godzilla versus Hedorah piece that I've talked about a million times. My easy goal is to get all the texture and detailing done on Godzilla, and then move on to Hedorah and whatever else is there. If I could get all that done so that I'm ready to move on to flats, I will be thrilled. I don't think I'll get quite that far, but if I get this done, I will feel like not a complete failure. It's about 12:45, so I have about 2 hours of solid time to work now, and that's what I'm gonna do. I did just get done working at Press Espresso. I was there for about 3 hours, maybe a hair less. Did I draw for 3 hours nonstop? No. Did I get at least 2 hours of drawing in? Yes. There were a couple of big chunks, but I also got some food, and I had to, well, I can talk about this now, actually. I did a collaboration print with Selwyn Ward, who is a Power Rangers actor. He was Red Turbo Ranger and Blue in Space Ranger. And I met him at Ranger Stop, and while I have mixed feelings about that trip in general, that was one of the high points, is that I connected with him. And so we did a collaboration print, and he's gonna be doing a show in New Jersey in like 2 or 3 days. And he got the prints in time, and so I was shouting about that online. But I got at least 2 hours of solid drawing in. I forget if it was last night. Yeah, was it last night? Last night I forced myself to open up I'm working on the Godzilla Hedorah piece. And I forced myself to open it up and look at Godzilla, because I'd done like a rough, and I had sort of tightened it up a little bit, and I really liked it. I was happy with it, which I had said before is bad, because I was like, I don't know where to go with this, and like, let me look at the suit for reference, and I did, and I sort of like wasn't super accurate with what the actual texture of the suit is, and so I was struggling with what looks good and feels good versus what's accurate, and I'm trying to allow myself, especially with these Godzilla pieces, to stray a little bit from being so fastidious to the accuracy, which sounds weird because I have a very comic book cartoony style, and there are other artists that I'm friends with that are like practically photo real, or they have every single piece. So people might look at my work and not think that's how I work, but that's what's going on in my head. And with this piece specifically, I was trying to give myself permission to stray from that a little bit in the interest of a better overall picture. And this piece in general, I try to imagine as like an old a VHS cover or an old poster, and like maybe I got the here's what the movie's going to be. Go ahead and do it. And just like no direction, just kind of try to come up with something visually interesting. And overall, I'm pretty happy with this piece. And if it comes out as good as I hope it's going to come out, it might be one of my favorite Godzilla pieces I've ever done. But that puts a lot of pressure on me right now. However, by forcing myself to kind of muck with it last night, and I didn't really feel good about it, and I was like, what am I doing? And I looked at reference, and I struggled and stuff. But when I opened it today, I had already messed with it yesterday. So I struggled for a few minutes, and then I got in the groove, and I did struggle with Godzilla a little bit, but I got there, and I kind of found the balance, and I finished it, all the inking, and then I did just a solid flat for him so that he's separated from the rest, like a solid flat color. And something I do sometimes, which I did with this, usually on characters that have a lot more texture or more organic, I wouldn't do it on like a Power Ranger helmet, for example. I have the rough under him, which is basically the same drawing. The lines are a little bit messier and a little bit here and there, but it's like the rough pencils. Maybe some people might call them tight pencils. I call them rough pencils. And what I do is I use that flat that is the shape of Godzilla, and I erased everything outside of that in the rough, but all of the other roughs that like coincide with the interior, I left and I put it at 25%. So it's not that noticeable, especially when I color it, but it just gives it an extra little texture, extra little organic messiness, especially because I'm doing a lot of stuff digitally now. It's something I've done for a while. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but again, not all the time, but especially if I'm doing a character like Godzilla or if I'm drawing a tree or something like that. Then I moved on to, I realized I had already inked a lot of the slime that he was in, which was great. So the two things I still have to ink are Hedorah, the smog monster behind him, Hedorah, whatever, I'm mispronouncing it and repronouncing it in English, whatever. And I have to do the skeletons and stuff in front. The skeletons and stuff in front, I think I need to look at reference because they're not bad, but they're totally out of my head. And I think I could do a little better if I just like halfway reference them. And then, and again, I wasn't overly worried about that either because I wanted it to look like an old horror movie poster, but I wanted to match everything else that's going on. And I started working Hedorah, and that again, I'm giving myself permission to stray a little bit from exactly what the suit looks like. And I'm definitely making it a little more organic and blobby and like a little bit of venom drip to it, like the Spider-Man character. And I was really enjoying it. Like the last 45 minutes or whatever, half hour I was drawing, Hedorah was like the most I've enjoyed drawing in a while, to the point where while I sometimes dread going to draw, I was watching the clock, I'm like, I gotta go soon, and that's a great feeling to have. And unfortunately, it keeps reinforcing the idea that I get out here at a coffee shop and I find it easier to work and better to work, and it's not super sustainable, but that's where we are right now. Also, I'm supposed to have this done by the end of the year, which is a soft deadline, but I had another soft deadline that I blew. I didn't blow it. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna make that. Do you need it then? And I'm like, no, the end of the year, if you can, if you can't, whatever. But I don't want to keep this good client who's given me a lot of freedom and paid me well and gave me a subject I like, and like this super long deadline, but I don't want to keep them waiting forever. And so I'm not drawing anything else until this is done. And I'm trying to prioritize it now that the holidays, well, they're sort of over. We're coming into New Year's. I got like another event with some friends, which is nice. But I feel like I'm definitely not going to have this done in the next 3 days unless something magical happens. But I'm closing in on, like, I'm at the point now where I've talked about before where I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I'm in the grind. I might experiment a little bit, but I'm not like, this is hard. Where am I going? I'm just in like, okay, I just got to put the hours in, and that's a lot better place to be. I just don't know if I will have those hours in the next 3 days. So I'll probably contact them and be like, hey, Happy New Year. It's going to be another 4 days or whatever I have to say. But yeah, that's it. See ya. Yep, footprints. Let me see. Oh, yours work better than mine. You have good footprint shoes. See you later, footprint shoes. New Year's Eve day. I'm outside of a Starbucks, having probably my last festive drink for the season. I have been eating terrible. I've been eating too much and badly. Well, that was hours ago that I was at Starbucks. I'm now going for a walk. It's evening. It's just a little before dinner. I wonder if when I wear these headphones, they're wireless Bluetooth, and I sometimes wonder if the microphone is picking me up from the phone or the headphones, and I don't know. I don't even know if they have a microphone. I didn't read. There's paperwork that came with them, but once I got them to make sound come into my ears, I disregarded the rest of the packaging. So I am walking before dinner. I did work on the Godzilla Hedorah piece. I have the inks done on Hedorah. I have the inks done on Godzilla. I struggled a little bit with Hedorah's hand because it's not really a hand. It's sort of just like flobbly stuff, but it's specific flobbly stuff. So I have the inks on the picture in general, like 90% done. I got to do the inks on the skeletons in front, but there's not even any background or anything there. And then I laid in most of the flats. So I have to ink the skeletons, and then, well, here's the issue I'm having. I did this on Procreate. I have my shiny new Cintiq, but I've been having opportunity to work on my iPad, and then what happens is I get home and I just keep working on the iPad rather than like transfer the file back and forth to Photoshop, and like, you know, so I don't know. I got to figure out a workflow or a way to share files easier, because I do want to use the Cintiq, and certain reasons. Here's 2 reasons why I would be preferring to work with the Cintiq. Inking is one of them, although I've really gotten decent at inking on the iPad, which is, I mean, it's been a struggle, but I got there, and it seems like still, whatever. Inking is not the issue right now. The issue is twofold. 1, layers. You're extremely stingy with the amount of layers you can have on Procreate, which usually isn't an issue if I'm doing like Power Rangers headshots or things. But the more layers you need, like when I do a piece of several characters, I make 1,000,000 layers. It's not the most efficient thing, but that's just how I do it. And so like Godzilla will have a layer for the inks, and then the details on the inks, and then the flat, and then each color of the flats, and then the shadow and the light, blah, blah, blah.